Hello, Boulder. Hey, I'm Jan Scott here with another Jan Scott Live. How do you like the background? Today, we are going to talk about um, the city of Boulder is going to have a special closed session meeting, which means you are not allowed to go. I have no idea why. Oh, they probably don't want a riot in there. That's probably why. They're going to have a special closed meeting today about actually it's Thursday, about whether or not Boulder is a sanctuary city. Come on. Boulder has announced for years that it is a sanctuary city. And we have more systems set up here in Boulder. Okay, here it is right there, Boulder, Colorado. We have more systems set up in Boulder to help undocumented immigrants to get on with their life, better known as illegal aliens, according to these guys, ICE. So there's ICE. The last time they were in Boulder, they used to make arrests, uh, 10 years ago or so, 15 years ago. They just come through and arrest people. I had friends customers actually, who ran restaurants, and they'd say, geez, ICE is coming through, and I had to fire all these people so we don't get arrested. I one friend that owned a popular breakfast restaurant, he had to let go of 5 people, ran his entire kitchen, destroyed his business. Another one ran a bakery, 2 longtime employees, had to let them go. This is some years ago. So now Boulder has changed all of that. So all of these restaurants downtown Boulder here, they all have undocumented illegal aliens working in their restaurants. And Boulder has quite a few systems for those people. So is Boulder a sanctuary city? Yeah, of course it's a sanctuary city. It's always been one. It's dramatically opposed to the Trump administration's policies. But here is the problem. The Trump administration is wiping out all of Boulder's federal money. They're killing NOAA. Anything that we get from the federal government, they are wiping it out. So the city has got to talk about tonight. Well, we have to wordsmith a little bit and pretend that we're not a sanctuary city so that, and we need to convince the Trump administration. Oh, here he is right here. We have to convince the Trump administration that we're not a sanctuary city so that we can get all this money that the feds give. I don't think the Trump administration is that stupid. They're not gonna buy an argument from a bunch of progressive socialists. Here they are right here. A bunch of progressive socialists saying, "Oh no, we're not socialists. We're not a sanctuary city. We." So they're going to go meet in secret. I have no idea why, and try to convince everybody that we're not a sanctuary city. Now, meanwhile, here's the governor. Everybody's mad at Governor Polis right now. Polis is saying, "Oh, geez, I have to." Here, I'll move out of the way. Polis is saying, "I have to do something to convince the federal government that we are not a sanctuary city, a sanctuary state." Because I have billions of dollars coming into Colorado from, the United States government, and Trump is going to kill all of that, let alone have ICE come in here and do raids. So Paulus he's a business guy, right? He started Techstars with the other, capitalists here in Boulder. So, he tries to pass himself off as a progressive socialist liberal, but he sees the reality of what is happening, and the entire state could be financially ruined by the Trump administration. That's kind of what's going on. So meanwhile, we've got all of this stuff going on in Los Angeles, right? 5 days of protests. You've got Gavin Newsom, the governor there. He's duking it out with Trump. I don't think he's on a winning. Nobody's going to win here. Um, you know, when you've got this kind of stuff going on, and then here Now we have here are the Marines, United States Marines. There they are on the streets of Los Angeles. And not only that, we have 35 cities now with protests going on. The red states, like Texas and Florida, they're moving in the troops right now to stop these protests. Um, the blue states are, fighting back at Trump. All of this is going to go bad for everybody. You know, this is going to be, in my opinion, Trump's biggest mistake yet. He's going to have that giant parade down in Washington. Well, what happens when the protesters show up there? How many of them are going to be at that thing and try to disrupt it? And is there going to be tear gas and fighting in the streets of Washington? Um, then all of the New York Times, go to the New York Times page. They list all 35 cities where these protests are going on, including Denver. They were fighting in Denver last night. And this thing is going to get, what's going to happen, right, Boulder? It's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's just going to blow up. Meanwhile, Trump's got the National Guard in there. What else does he have? He has the Marines. You've got these ICE police everywhere, cops all over the place. There they are there. I think that was an ICE raid in Denver. That you've got, okay, 4 or 5 cars burned in LA. They haven't burned the city yet. I don't know that that's going to happen. But one thing that is definitely going to happen is this thing is going to get worse and worse. You know it, right? And the protests are going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Um, are they going to move in troops everywhere? It's not a win-win-win for Trump. I'll tell you that. He's going to come out of this looking worse than he already does. Yikes. That's all I could say. And Boulder, you're going to try to convince yourselves that we're not a sanctuary city, but that's just not true. I mean, we have people working here. I mean, there are Hispanic people, Mexican nationals who are all over, who live in Boulder. They're working all over the place. Who does the gardening? Mexicans. Who does the concrete work? Mexicans. Who does the truck driving? Mexicans. They're filling all the jobs that Anglos don't want. It's not like they're taking jobs away from people. That was an argument some years ago, but you can get a job any day of the week here in Boulder. So that is, if people are working, paying their taxes, being responsible, stand-up citizens, what's wrong with that? That's what America's about. Now, Trump says, and ICE says, oh no, we're just going after the criminals. And you know what I say? Prove it. I've written to ICE and I say, show me the warrants for criminals. Show me, who your list of arrestees. Who did you arrest? They can't do it. Is ICE out there picking up anybody who looks brown? Or they're going to Home Depot, day labor sites, picking up everybody who's brown, who's Mexican. We'll sort them out later. That's what they're doing, but they don't want to admit it, so they're lying about it. And this is why this is going to blow up in Trump's face and the entire Trump administration, because ICE is lying. If they weren't lying, and they said, here are the people we are arresting, all of them, they're not doing that. They're showcasing their poster children for crime. It's a huge mistake on their part. So, anyways, another look at the Marines in Los Angeles. They're there. This really hasn't been that bad. The press has been showcasing burning 4 or 5 cars. That's going to happen. You send in the National Guard, the police, after brown working people, it's not going to end well for this administration. It just isn't. So I'm kind of with, I am with Gavin Newsom on this because he's right. If ICE were just picking up criminals, well, they would show them, but they're not. Okay, anyways, that's it for me. I'm Jann Scott.